They gave this episode the right name. Boom, boom, bang. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to KRSTV. This is your boy Kenny. Now remember, subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow all the information I have in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And this is the Haves and the Have-Nots Season 8, Episode 9. And the name of this episode is Boom Boom Bang. And next week is the mid-season finale. Now, the episode picked up where we left off. Benny and Candace are at the bank. Candace has wired only $8 and some change to Jim, and she's putting $1 million in Benny's account. And Benny is such a fucking idiot that this asshole gonna ask, can he withdraw $100,000? Dude, really? What the hell you need all of that liquid money for? Like, it's obvious he's stupid as shit and he don't understand big money. See, that kind of money is not in physical form. That's money you keep in the bank. Now, I can see maybe you ask for maybe a few thousand, but you're going to ask for $100,000. She's like, well, the banker was even like, I can try to see if we can contact some other banks because they don't have that much money in the actual bank itself. That's money you have in the bank. You don't walk around with $1 million. You have $1 million in the bank. So it goes to show you that Benny ignorant as hell, and he want to keep the money so damn bad, but don't even know the first damn thing about financial management or how, the income brackets change and how banks actually work. Yo, dumb son of a bitch. Anyway, so so pretty much the $7 million. Candace is keeping that. And he was saying that, and then Candace was like, I know mom's gonna feel some kind of way about it. And then all of a sudden that damn Benny's like, I don't care how mom feels. Like, man, she'll get past it. I'm like, see, this is what happens when you play favoritism with your children. And I'm talking about Hannah. Benny was her favorite child while Candace was her Achilles heel. And we see that Benny is the main one that's going to break her heart because she's always going to bat for Benny left and right, and Benny just continues to disappoint her every chance he gets and don't give a damn how she feels. Don't give a care about her feelings. I mean, Hannah would have a great life if she didn't have these damn kids. I mean, here it is, Candace is trying to turn a new leaf on. She's trying to turn a new leaf, but when she heard that her mother had power of attorney of Kathryn's money, her whole game changed. Her whole game plan changed. And it's just like, man. It's like, but then again, as I said, this is what happens when you play favorites with your children. Because the one who's going to break your heart the most is the one you favored out of all of them. And she favored Benny, and Benny's going to continue to break her heart because Benny's spoiled. Benny's a fucking idiot. He's selfish. He's inconsiderate. And he's just trifling, just like his daddy. Y'all remember Tony? Go back some seasons ago and see how trifling Tony is. Benny got it honest. So then we go back to the hospital with David and Jim. Jim keeps telling David that this whole thing with George is a bad play. We gotta do something to Veronica like an untraceable accident. And then he asked David, has he talked to Kyle? And he was like, yeah. And he says, well, has he? Well, I'm sorry, my bad. David asks Jim, has Kyle reached out to him? And he was like, no, I haven't heard from him. But he pretty much said that, yeah, it's like a federal matter, But then all of a sudden, that damn David was like, well, I need to get out here so I can help Kathryn. And he was like, one bitch at a time. Jim's a fucking mess. And then, remember on the last episode, Veronica served him papers that she's representing Celine, and that Celine is going to sue him for back child support and sexual harassment, pain and suffering. He pretty much told her, like, hey, take this shit and throw it in the damn shredder, you know. And he also asks David to go check on Wyatt. He's like, my poor son, you know, check and see if his temperature went down. So here it is, Kathryn, you know, was saying that, oh, we're going to press charges against him. It's clearly from this scene, Jim has no intentions of pressing charges on his son, because he loves his children even to their detriment. And he just said, I just want you to go check on him and see how he's doing. That poor kid, you know. And I'm like, your damn son almost damn near killed you, but he loves his children unconditionally. That's one thing you can say about Jim. He loved his kids, but yet at the same time, you know, you loved them to the point that you didn't protect them from the dangers that they were going to face. Because neither one of them were prepared for the real world. Especially Amanda. And even more so, now I would even say more Wyatt than anything else. Because at least Amanda was going to college trying to make something of herself. That damn Wyatt was just on some drug-induced bullshit. He's always getting in one bad situation after another. And we can tell that throughout his whole life, his parents had covered his tracks. He never had to take responsibility for anything, which is why he's so tragic. And that gets revealed towards the end of this episode, so let's keep it moving. So, after that, we see that after that, you know, David leaves and goes to, you know, handle the business or whatever. Then we get a scene with Veronica and George. Veronica is already, oh no, what the hell do you want? Why are you here? You know, he's like, you know, can I come in? He's like, why? You want some fried chicken? And, you know, because Veronica was definitely back on that shit. And then he tells her that he spoke to David and that he wants immunity, you know, to testify against you for the murder of Jennifer Salison. And then Veronica was like, why would he be getting immunity? You already have the perpetrator. And he was like, yeah, but that's what I'm questioning. Were you there? And we all know her ass was there. She was there with a front row seat when Kathryn put them bullets up in Jennifer Salison. Just like she lit her ass up to the point that her high heels were pointed to the moon afterwards. And Veronica, she literally killed her right in front of Veronica. So, and of course she ain't saying shit to George about it. And then she says that, think about this, George. They're trying to pin this on me so that they can get Kathryn off. And he was like, and then George was like, yeah, I thought about that. But then again, there's so much bad blood between you guys. I don't know. It could be the other thing. You could have been the killer and Kathryn suffering, covering for your ass. Like there's so much bad blood amongst you guys. There's no telling. So then she pretty much tells George to leave, which he does. So then she calls David, and she's like, oh, so you're going to testify against me now? And he was like, yeah, and she's like, yeah, I am. You know, you mess with my son, I'm willing to take all the wheels off. I don't care. And she's like, okay, bring your vest. She's like, okay, bring your best. But she says that, but I have evidence about the murder, right? And he was like, yeah, and I got evidence too. And she's saying, and then she's like, it's funny, you're doing this over that girl who is not even your son. And, and she's like, as far as I'm concerned, it might be Jim's. I'm like, bitch, really? Oh my God, that Veronica's a piece of work. And then all of a sudden, David called her a pathetic whore. And he pretty much says that you're a pathetic whore, Veronica, and I'm coming for you. I don't need George to do it. And she's like, yes, you do need George because you a weak-ass bitch. He's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, and I'm about to commit a murder. And she was like, yeah, bang, bang, boom. And that was the end of that. And then afterwards, when she hangs up with David, she calls somebody and says that, can I please get some candidates today, please? I'm like, okay, Veronica, what the hell you up to? So then we see in the scene that between Hannah and Kathryn, everything is finalized. Hannah now has power of attorney of Kathryn's money and businesses and her assets and all of that. Um, and then we see that Marty's there with them too, and she asks Marty about her bail, and she says, he's like, I'm working on it. And she's like, "What the hell you mean you working on it? What about the judges that I told you to call?" And Marty was like, "Oh, none of them will touch it." She's like, "Oh, really? After all the stuff I did for these assholes, none of them gonna come to my defense?" But he tells her that he's still working on getting her bail. And then pretty much Hannah says something in this scene which was so real. Nobody knows you when you down and out. And I'm like, that is true for all of us. Like, have you noticed that when you down and out, all the people who you thought were your friends or your comrades are no longer there? Kathryn is starting to feel that, and Kathryn in a way gets emotional because she sees that Hannah is the only real solid friend that she has, and even at her lowest, Hannah is still there. So that was real. So, and she pretty much tells, Kathryn that she's with her. She's good. So then we get a scene with Jim and Akil. Akil comes to the hospital. Akil tells Jim that Benny's gone, and then he said that the Malones came in, and he says that go find them. And I'm like, Jim, why are you coming at this man like that? You know how the Malones move. He one man against a whole Italian cartel. They will have him torn in so many pieces that even vultures won't even be able to find his ass. And so I'm like, Jim, you just being ridiculous. He's like, get the hell out of here. You good for nothing, son of a bitch. Get the hell out of here. Like, I can't believe you. I'm like, it was him against the Malones. He wasn't gonna win. So then he calls Lloyd and wants to see if that transfer came through. And Lloyd was like, oh yeah, transfer came through, but it's only for $8. And then all of a sudden, Jim was like, that bitch. And sure enough, Candace came in the room right after that. I'm like, you done spoke her ass up. So then we got a scene between Candace and Jim, and he's like, $8? And she was like, yeah, I was going to give you the money, but then you kidnapped my brother. So that really didn't sit well with me. And then all of a sudden, he starts throwing, jabs at Candace, telling her that you have no idea what I will do to your mother, to your brother, or you. Like, and pretty much Candace was like, well, I don't know about that this time because I have a solid group of friends. And she started mentioning the White House. She's like, oh, please. Those motherfuckers threw you away. They ain't thinking about your ass. Little do you know they actually are. And then also talking about, the Malones. And she was saying that, and as far as I know, you're kind of in bad blood with them. And he was like, yeah, and they'll fucking throw your ass away just like they did me. So play that game if you want to. And she's like, he's like, I'm gonna get your ass. I'm gonna get you. But she's like, no, you're not, because I have a friend that I want to introduce you to. And then she opens the door, and then Mitch comes in there, and I have to say, Mitch was looking sexy as shit. I was like, I never really looked at Mitch like that, but in this scene, I was like, ooh, Mitch, you're a little, ooh. I was kind of like, okay, Mitch, I never seen you in this way. Mitch was looking good as shit. And then sat right there next to Jim and gave Jim the fucking business. Like, yeah. Candace is special to us. Mom, and he's like, come on now. Now, damn well your family don't like black people. And he's like, well, Mama Rose owes her a favor. Now, and pretty much, the fact that, pretty much, this whole $8 million thing. First of all, my family is not happy how you keep harassing her mother and her brother. You need to let this one go. And Jim is just dead set, I can't, and I won't let it go. And she says, well, either you do that, or I'm going to go to my mother and say that, I was in the crossfire, you know, when Benny was kidnapped. And he's like, but you weren't. And he was like, it's my word against yours, bruh. You know, and you know, messing with my family, that shotgun blast that you got will only be a warm-up to what my family will do to you. So you need to let this go, and that's the end of it. And I'm like, that motherfucker ain't gonna let that shit go, because Jim is too conceited, he's too much of a racist, and too much of a fucking thirsty pig to let that money go, because Jim ain't got no damn money. He really don't. So he needs those millions, because that's the only millions he got. He ain't got shit. So then, but when he find out that Hannah got power of attorney, boy, I can't wait to see that shit. That's gonna give me life. Because I'm like, yeah, so you're gonna have to start saying Miss Hannah, just like you tried to get her to say Mr. Jim, you racist son of a bitch. Anyway, so then we get a scene with Conley and Kyle. Conley is sitting up in Kyle's desk like he owned the shit, because of course we know that Charles is gonna make Conley the new attorney general. So he just sitting there chilling and everything, and then Kyle was like, what's going on here? He says, well, you know that I'm gonna be taking over as the new attorney general, so within a few months this will be my office. And he starts talking about, yes, I'm just trying to get the feel of my new office. And then Kyle offers Conley a drink, and Conley's like, oh no, I never touched this stuff. And I'm like, yo, drunk ass, why you lying, bitch? and all of a sudden Kyle was like, well, you know there's rumors in this town, right? And the rumor is that you like to drink a lot. And he's like, never touched the stuff. And he even says, you sure? He's like, yeah, I'm good. And also you just see Conley like, yeah, bitch, you want to get a sip? Yeah, with your drunk ass, like, alcoholic motherfucker. I was so here for it. I was like, Conley was playing it. But shout out to Jeffrey Owens, man. He's really playing this part, because I'm starting to see how he moving and shit. So then all of a sudden, in this scene, Conley decides to tell Kyle the fuck off. He was like, first of all, I never liked you, and you're a slimy son of a bitch, and we're gonna get you back for what you did to Charles. And he was like, what are you talking about? He was like, short memory, huh? Candace Young? And he's like, really? That whore in Savannah? And all of a sudden Colin's like, and you still being arrogant as shit. I'm like, he's white, he can't help it, honey. Like, I'm just saying. Just arrogant to the end, just like Jim Cryer. You know, that privilege makes them like that. And he's like, yeah, that whore in Savannah, really? He's like, you're still gonna be arrogant all the way to the end, huh? So we all made the connection. You were using this to take my guy down over a personal vendetta. And, you know, this is politics, and we're not going for that. And he's hurt by this, and he's not going to take this lying down. And then all of a sudden, Kyle, still being a pompous asshole, was like, well, you need to tell the president that this is politics, so people shouldn't be getting in their feelings. You know, it is what it is. I play games, he play games, we all play games. And, you know, Colin was like, bruh, I hope you dotted your I's and crossed your T's, because we are going to be investigating your whole entire apparatus as Attorney General. And you better hope there's no stone unturned, because if we find something, we are going to rip your ass apart with it. And then before he left, he says, oh yeah, and I farted in your chair. I'm like, oh golly, you messy bitch. I'm here for it though. Because I don't like Kyle either. Kyle's a little evil bastard. Because Kyle just did all that shit, and it wasn't even a lot of fucking money, but you used Candace to try to take down Charles, and now that shit's starting to backfire on you. So Good riddance, motherfucker. Anyway, so we see that Veronica is seeing all the candidates and she is being the most disrespectful and the most rude. She is just being nasty as shit. She got her little cocktail and she's like, oh no, don't like her. She looked like she steals. And then she pretty much tells her, I need you to bring me black people. I only want to see black people who don't eat fried chicken. And the woman's like, oh my God, that's racist. And Veronica's like, I'm black. I can say that, bitch. So, no. And then she's like, well, we got this girl named Lauren, but she's running late. And she's like, well, I don't know if I want the bitch to work for me if she working late and shit. So supposedly she's looking for a maid. So, and she says, and besides, only people you brought to me, 2 of them couldn't even get through the door. 2 of them looked like they steal, and then the other ones were greasy. And then finally, the girl Lauren shows up, and immediately Veronica was like, boom. Oh yeah, she's a lookalike. She's like she's about my size. And pretty much she says, well, she's like she's a little smaller. She's like, I said she my size. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So she decides to hire her. And then she's like, oh yes, and come up with me, Linda. She's like, it's Laura. She's like I said, Linda, let's go upstairs. She comes down with, and you know, she tells her all the stuff she wants her to do. And then she says, oh yes, and you know, those clothes delivered to the Salvation Army. She's like, are you sure you want to do this? These are really nice, and some of them still got the price tags on them. She's like, oh, do you like them? You can wear them if you like. Oh yeah, won't you try on my shoes? Like we're about the same size. Oh, you're a size 6? Oh yeah, so am I. So she tries on the shoes. She's like, well, they're a little wide for me. She's like, they're right. She's like, I don't know. She's like, I said they're right. I'm like, Veronica, now we're starting to see why she's holding candidates. She's looking for somebody that can be like her decoy. If she out in these streets running around, they'll arrest her instead of arresting Veronica. Like, Veronica, you're evil as hell. But, boo-boo, you got many different people coming at you from different ways, bitch. But we're going to see how you going to dodge all of them because everybody want a piece of Veronica. So we're going to see how that's going to play out. Then we get a scene with Justin, a.k.a. Glenn Close. Yo, shout out to my boy, Basic Complexity. Definitely love his comments on my videos, but he kind of reminded me like, yeah, Glenn Close, because we recently became friends on Facebook, but yeah, I definitely thought about that, yeah, because I started calling him Justine. I mean, that would have been cute, but Glenn Close was the best name because this fatal attraction is so apparent because he shows up to David's house, wants to talk to Jeffrey. The guard goes in to talk to Jeffrey, and Jeffrey first says, tell him I'm not here. But never mind, let him in. So they go talking back and forth and everything, and he pretty much tells him that he's going to be leaving town, and your mother won't stop coming for me, and I can't do this anymore, you know. And he was like, okay. Because Jeffrey just at this point where I don't give a shit. I mean, as I said, that pink bunny rabbit got a taste of that golden chocolate egg, bitch. So he ain't thinking about Glenn Close at this point. And Glenn Close started to feel some kind of way. You would just let me go like that? Oh, you're seeing him. Madison. Why are you so dressed up? Because Jeffrey was clean. Because remember, he wanted Madison to take him to dinner. Wanted to eat that sirloin. And suck on that oysters. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much, you know, he was like, yeah, whatever, but it is what it is. He's like, but you're the one who did this to me. And Jeffrey was like, no, you did this to yourself. Exactly. You put yourself in this shit. You can't keep blaming this shit on Jeffrey. He's like, oh my God, you're so cold. And then Jeffrey's like, well, it's a cold world, you know. And he was like, but didn't you say you were leaving? You came here to tell me you were leaving, so leave. Goodbye. And then all of a sudden, Justin was like, yeah, okay. Goodbye. And then the way he left, I was like, see, Glenn Close ain't done, bitch. She ain't gonna be done until she get what she want. Either you gonna be hers, or you gonna end up dead, Jeffrey. That's pretty much what it is. You're gonna have to kill this bitch, because this bitch is not going away. And she can tell for the fact that you were so nonchalant and you did not care that she was leaving. She already done kind of smelt it in the atmosphere that the pink rabbit done found your golden chocolate egg through the Easter egg hunt. So that was the end of that. So then we get the last scene between Veronica, between Wyatt and Kathryn. Wyatt is saying that he wants to die and all of that, and Kathryn's like, you know what, just leave me alone. You only saying that shit because you in jail right now when you in your feelings. And then, you know, you might as well just stay in jail where you're safe. Because Hannah said that maybe you need to keep him locked up, but put him in a program that will help him, like therapy or psychology, something that will help him to overcome his addictions. And pretty much all of a sudden we see that damn Wyatt pulls out a shank, you know, a toothbrush with a blade at the end, and pretty much he lets her be known that, yeah, I really don't want to live anymore. And she's like, you don't, like, do not do this, Wyatt. Are you serious? And he's like, look, I already timed it. You know, the guards are changing their shift, so no one's gonna come in here. And he begins to slit his wrist, and that's where it ended. And I'm like, oh shit. So the question is, will Wyatt survive? I mean, because we see that she's calling for the guards, and no guards are coming, so he can literally bleed the fuck out right there in that cell, and can literally be dead by the time the new guard takes on the next shift. So we gotta see what's gonna happen next week, because next week is the mid-season finale. I'm so here for it. And get down in those comments and let me know your thoughts on this episode. So until next time, everybody, take care.